Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to what is a very special day for all of us here in the room, which is the conferring ceremony for the Master of Arts in Transnational Governance here at the European University Institute. My name is Fabrizio Tassinari, and I'm the Executive Director of the School of Transnational Governance here. And it will be my pleasure to guide you through this ceremony. Before we start the proceedings, two small instructions of housekeeping. Please use the headsets provided next to your chair. They are not for translation, but they will improve the acoustics. And second, please mute your phones. Thank you very much. Without further ado, I give the floor to Professor Renaud de Hoos, President of the European University Institute.
Good morning, everyone. It's, again, a great pleasure to see so many people on this festive occasion. This is an important day for all of us, but of course, above all, for our graduates who have been working long hours in order to reach that stage. And I want to emphasize that this is also for us a source of great pride. It's important to stress that any school has a history of its own, an origin of its own. In the present case, the School of Transnational Governance was created in order to basically respond to changes that we saw underway in the world around us. We saw a world in which states were struggling to deal with problems that evidently on their own they could not solve, and a world in which Europe's problems were no longer European problems, but entailed partnerships with other actors across the world. Now, since the idea of this school first emerged some 10 years ago, quite a number of things have changed in our world. At the time we started the first discussions, Donald Trump was merely a businessman who was not taken seriously by the political establishment in his own country or elsewhere. The word Brexit had not yet been coined, and coronaviruses were of interest to just a handful of scientists in some obscure laboratories. Much has changed, of course, but I'm not going to lecture on those changes. I simply want to emphasize that despite these important transformations, there are things that haven't changed and shouldn't change. And these are the key values on which the School of Transnational Governance has been built. Values which are, if you believe me, probably even more important in today's world than in the world in which the project was first discussed. In the era of information overload and rapidly evolving technology, it is, of course, more crucial than ever to recognize the importance of scientific rigor in the analysis of facts. This is really indispensable to make informed decisions, to solve problems, and to progress as a society. Seeking the truth means acknowledging the importance of empirical evidence, of scientific research, and of reliable sources. It also means questioning the assumptions and carefully scrutinizing any piece of information. All things that have been central in the education that you have received. Now, this should go hand in hand with another cardinal value, namely respect for each other's viewpoints. We live in a strange world which is at the same time extremely diverse and extremely interconnected, where therefore it is easy for opinions, beliefs, or even perspectives simply to clash. Embracing diversity and engaging in a respectful dialogue allows us to broaden our understanding, to challenge our biases, and to cultivate empathy. It is through these conversations that we can find common ground, bridge divides, and collectively move forward. So, as you move to the next chapter of your lives, our hope is that you will continue to be guided by those values, have the humility to listen, and the willingness to understand the other's viewpoint. Embrace intellectual curiosity, seek knowledge, and approach differences with empathy. In so doing, you will not simply shape your own successes, but also shape the world in which you will live and hopefully make it a better place than the present one. On behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the administration, I wish to thank you for your active involvement in the activities of our vibrant community and wish you all the best in your future careers. Thank you.
Dear students, parents, faculty, and staff, this is a big day. It's a big day for you. It's a big day for all of us. You're the second cohort to graduate with a master's in transnational governance. For me, it's so big that today I have an introduction and 4 points. Do you remember 2 years back when you applied? You did these little videos, didn't you? No, we're not going to put them online. They were actually quite cool. But yesterday's videos were very moving. You know, I went there and I looked at them over and over again when you thanked your parents in your own language, in your own way. I also observed the general feeling, or what Calypso would call the vibes of the cohort. And it just felt good. You know, sometimes you get the sense that things click. And I have a feeling that during these 2 years, things clicked. You've been a really wonderful, wonderful group of young adults that our whole team has been able to work with. You know, the world that you came into the SDG with was quite different. Remember, it was in the middle of COVID. The war in Ukraine hadn't started yet, and things were, for all intents and purposes, looking pretty transnational. But I think you're coming out from the school in a world which is quite different. And I remember graduating starting my studies in 1989 in the US. That was sort of an era of hope in many ways. It was the end of history. And you're coming to a world which is quite different, because our holiday from history probably ended in 2022. But we, of course, hope that we were able to give you the tools to cope with the world, whichever direction it's going to go. So today, my 4 points are actually something that my parents told me when I was a kid every time when I went to bed, and my wife and I took up the tradition of doing the same thing. And they're a combination of, well, 4 points, but actually 5 words. And I'll take each one of them one at a time, kind of as a piece of advice, 2 cents, if you will, for your journey after the School of Transnational Governance. And the words that my parents used to say were dream, believe, work hard, and succeed. Now, what do I mean by those? Word number 1, dream. By dreaming, I mean to say that you really should always have big aspirations. Sometimes they don't turn out, but you should always have the courage to dream big. There's nothing wrong in that. There are a whole bunch of cynical people in the world who say, don't be such a dreamer. Don't listen to them. Dream big. That's where it all starts. If you don't have a goal or a big dream, you're probably not going to go to places. And fight for what you believe in. You know, there is a right and wrong in this world. There is a set of values in this world. You have them. They're in your heart, they're in your mind, and stick to them. There is no end state in your dream. Yeah, now the end state is that you're graduating today. But the bottom line is that life is a journey. And during that life, if you don't dream, you fall into a process which doesn't have meaning. Point number 2, believe. And by that I mean to say, believe in yourself. You know, there are moments in life when all of us have doubts. When we think that, you know, we're not good enough, we're not tough enough, we're not smart enough, we're not loved enough. Don't let that deviate you from your path or from your journey. You simply have to go through those times. It's going to be tough. There are going to be moments when you search for direction. I'm sure that some of you have jobs set up, some of you have studies set up, some of you don't. But that doesn't matter. Things happen. If you have that dream in your background and your head, and if you believe in what you're doing. You wouldn't have been here had that not been the case. You all took a little bit of a risk, you know. It's not exactly like a master's in transnational governance is your regular cup of tea, right? But you took the risk because you believed to a certain extent in us and in the path that you had chosen. And of course hope that that belief did not lead to regret. Point number 3, work hard. And I'm not talking about finishing your thesis or doing your exams for our profs. But working hard is something that doesn't always mean putting in the hours. Yeah, it sometimes requires a lot of grinding. But don't believe that you burning the evening light at the office is the symbol of working hard. There's so many different ways that you can do that. And that's when planning and efficiency and the rest of it comes into play as well. So put your heart and mind into whatever you're doing. Work hard, but if you have a belief and a passion in what you do, I think things will fall into place. And with working hard as well, don't do something that you don't believe in or that you're not passionate about. It's not wrong to change careers midway. Quite the contrary, we don't even know what the job market is going to look like 10 years from now. So have the courage to work hard and if need be, then change tack. So dream, believe, work hard. And then we come to the most difficult and 4th point, succeed. How do you define success? I think a lot of times in today's society, we have a rather skewed way of defining success. We do it on the basis of your career, your position,
what you earn. But you know what? I don't think that really defines success. It's not about your position in society, your monetary wealth. It's about so many different things. It really is about doing something meaningful, doing something which has impact, and probably therefore something that makes you happy. You are as good as you are, perfect, just as you are. Not because of the way in which we think about your careers, your friends think about your careers, your family thinks about your careers. That is just one little part of the journey of life. And you know what? With all of these things, dream, believe, work hard, and succeed, you need a lot of luck too. Sometimes it's just about happening to be in the right place at the right time. You might have had during your 2 years here some kind of a mega revelation that, yeah, this is what I want to do. Well, it happened because you had the dream, you had the belief, you worked hard, and at the end of the day, you succeeded. And I'll conclude by giving you, I have to do the 3 points, giving you my 3 points for your journey onwards from here. The first one is about your mind. If nothing else, I hope that you learned from your time here to always have an open and curious mind. Always. The minute you start thinking that you know better than someone else, that's when you fall into the fallacy of cynicism. Keep that curious and open mind, always. Learn how to listen, learn how to discuss, learn how to appreciate, and learn how to respect. Second, take care of your body too. There is a connection between your mind and your body. And by that I mean to say that don't forget to rest, keep moving, and keep on feeding your body with energy or with food that gives you enough energy. There is the connection. You know how it is. And third, keep up the spirit. Be engaged. Or as Calypso would say, love. Because you know what? You are coming into a world of artificial intelligence, of robotization, of biotechnology, of CRISPR technology, of DNA sequencing, of ChatGPT. But there's one thing that all of these things cannot provide you with, and that is empathy. And you know what? When you graduate, when you get out of here with your absolutely fantastic degree, remember that empathy takes you far. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Alex. And now for the highlight of our ceremony, we will proceed with the awarding of the master degrees in transnational governance. May I please ask the graduates to stand up?
By the authority vested in me, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Transnational Governance. Congratulations.
All right. I will now call you individually, one by one, to come forward. Skand, Agwal,
Yes.
all right. Tomiris, Amirova. Felipe Manzano, who graduates in absentia. Tariq Aziz. Costanza Bindi. Rafael Canel, who graduates with distinction. Lucas Alberto Chiodi. Matilde Dani. Emilie Gjalbæk Sverdrup. Gonzalo Grau. André Edward Gruber. Ada Sofia Han. Tiala Ifwanga. Mahmoud Javadi. Ines Jimenez Martinez. Farhan Abdul Majid. Rosa Anna Mocelewska. That was good. Teona Nezovic. Huang An Tu Nguyen. Puot Nyang Bot. Isabella Rinaldi. Tutti Rintamäki. Gabriel Rodriguez Salarix, who graduates in absentia. Alessia Rossi. Sunday Jerome Salami. Pelin Sazak. Esteban Octavio Scuzzarello. Rifat Sestic. For one. Sara Tegas. Charles Toron. Thomas Ublakner, who graduates with distinction. Ayesha Uroy. Diana Uzmanova. Anna Chiara Vigna. Sumbule Vafula. Simeng Vu. And last but not least, Yayang Tzu. Sorry. And now there is the intermission by the EUI choir. I thought they just came in.
Madonna mia cara, mi volere canzon. Madonna mia cara, mi volere canzon. Cantar sotto finestra, danze, don 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 don, di di don 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 don, di di don 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 don. Ti prego m'ascoltare e mi cantare, no. Ti prego m'ascoltare e mi cantare, no.
Thank you very much to the UI Choir. We proceed now to the second part of our ceremony, which is the awarding of the STG Academic Awards, and I invite Professor Emma Lees to address the prize winners.
Good morning, everybody. So as Academic Director of the school, I have the great honour and privilege of awarding the prizes this morning. I have, as you might imagine, a lot of really terrible jobs to do as part of my role, but this is one really of the very nicest. So I'm absolutely delighted and, as I say, honoured to be able to do it. Before I award the individual awards, however, I want to say something in honour of the whole cohort, and that is this. I think each and every one of you can do something that none of your professors can do, and that is do law and maths at the same time. And so for that, and so many other things, we are indeed in awe of you. So congratulations from the bottom of my heart to all of you. I now begin by awarding the awards for excellent performance in the degree. These awards are given to those students who've achieved a very high GPA overall in our degree, and it shows exactly those qualities that Alex was mentioning: curiosity, open minds, and a willingness to learn. But more than that, it also shows an enormous amount of hard work. I'm going to invite these students to come up together to collect their certificates. So you can hear all of their names. Please refrain from applauding until I reach the end of my list. Thank you. So these students are Raphael Cannell, Mathilde Danny, Ada Sophia Hahn, Emily Gjalbeck-Sverdrup, Gonzalo Grau, Isabella Rinaldi, Esteban Octavio Scuzzarello, Sarah Tegas, Charles Taron, and Sambule Wafula. Congratulations to you all. now move to the Best Master Project Award. The Master Project represents the culmination of the students' time with us. It's a piece of independent research that they carry out, we must acknowledge, under quite a lot of pressure. So to complete this assignment at all is a tremendous achievement, but the student who has won the Best Master Project wrote a truly outstanding piece of work. So this student, Tariq Aziz, also gets an award for excellent performance. So congratulations, Tariq. The final of our academic awards is the award for the best overall performance in the degree. To achieve the level of outstanding performance in such a wide range of subjects shows a very rare talent indeed. We're enormously proud of all of our graduates, of course, but I will say that the performance of this student has been really remarkable. So congratulations, Thomas Ublagner. Thomas is now going to make an address to his fellow students and to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It is an incredible honor to speak to you today on this very remarkable occasion. Right at the start, I want to thank the SDG faculty and administration, my fellow students from the Arendt cohort, as well as my family, for their continued support. Without all of you, this would have not been feasible. Further, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate each and every one of my colleagues on the extraordinary achievements they have made over the course of this degree. There is not one person in this cohort that is not exceptional at what they do, and you are all a source of great inspiration. And although I'm very grateful that I get to be the one who holds part of these concluding remarks, I have to say it is not an easy feat. Over the last 2 years, all of us have gone our very own path, each with our own sets of challenges and unforgettable experiences. We all encountered very different setbacks and opportunities in our professional, academic, and personal lives. No single speech can ever do all of what we have collectively experienced justice. The stories we will tell about the last 2 years are far too plentiful for me to cover them here in totality, which is a shame, because they are all worth telling, and some of them are very entertaining. Nonetheless, I want to use the salute to try and give you an impression of what it meant to me to be part of this cohort. So let's take a moment to go back to the start. When I first arrived in Florence, I really did not know what to expect, which is a sentiment that many of us shared, I believe. At that point in time, we were still at the tail end of a global pandemic, and the idea of going back to school in a new city with new people and a new academic focus promised to be quite the challenge, to say the least. Coming here in 2021 took courage, confidence, and resilience. Upon arrival, we were introduced to the EUI life during the bootcamp, which was also when we first got to know each other on a more personal level. In this process of getting to know everyone, I still remember being mightily impressed by the stories everyone had to share about their path before the SDG. Some had worked as lawyers before, some had prior careers as opera singers, and some had surmounted other challenges in their lives that I would have never been able to overcome if I was in their position. During the first year then, we laid multidisciplinary foundations and engaged with new ways of looking at the world. We went to the archives, we learned about new forms of governance, and we started to understand how insights from different subjects are often not distinct, but interconnected. Equally, we started integrating ourselves in Florence ever more, be it by engaging with EUI PhDs, talking to our fellows, or making out-of-uni friends. In between the first and second year, our curricular internships then took us all around the globe, to cities such as Brussels, Istanbul, Vienna, or even Washington, D.C., just to name a few examples. We worked in highly dynamic environments and completed greatly demanding tasks. Some of us contributed to analytical work of major international organizations. Others wrote policy briefs for leading think tanks or organized dialogues on topics that often miss the public eye. In the second year, we were then able to specialize in different fields of policy, which was quite striking to witness as well. Over the course of just a few months, we built knowledge about incredibly heterogeneous topics, from technology regulation to climate change mitigation and everything in between. Crucially, we did so not just in a descriptive manner though. Rather, we actually put in the work to try and come up with solutions, while showing a high willingness to think outside the box. That goes to say that we all made huge leaps since 2021, both professionally and academically. However, perhaps more so than on those levels, I'm convinced that all of us also grew on a personal level during this time. In fact, I would even argue that many of the most impressive achievements of this cohort are not ones that will necessarily end up on a CV. During the last 2 years, people in this cohort have not just written essays and presented slides, they have also gotten engaged to their partner. Some have organized fascinating art classes, and others ran half marathons. These are just a few examples, but they all point us to an important conclusion, I believe. Students of the RN cohort do not just define themselves through their degrees, their jobs, or their grades. Rather, we all try to strike a balance between work and life, between the academic and the personal, or between the library and fiasco. Navigating this trade-off is challenging, and it will always hold that extremes are easy, balance is hard. The fact that we all managed to strike a workable balance tells me that we are well prepared for what lies ahead. However, what lies ahead has rarely been this uncertain. As we finish this degree, we now enter a world that is changing and one that has gotten increasingly volatile since we first entered Buontalenti. This environment calls for decision makers that are bold, ones that are acting on scientific evidence, and ones that are willing to take a risk. I believe that this is where we can all add value and contribute to the common good. I'm confident that the future is great for all of us. And personally, I cannot wait to see each student of this cohort succeed at their respective endeavors. It has been a real honor living through the last 2 years together with all of you, and I want to wish everyone all the best on their next adventure. Now, there's one last thing to say, and I think you already know it's coming. I wanted to say happy birthday, Raf. And thank you for your attention.
We now move on to the STG Student Awards, and these awards are granted in conjunction with the cohort themselves. And I have 2 awards to give today, but the first that I will start with may at first sight seem unusual. This is the award for humanity. This usually goes to one student who has excelled in the way that they are kind, caring, and loving towards their fellow students. But in a move which I have to say is entirely unsurprising, the Arendt cohort have awarded it to the whole cohort, which I think tells you something very important about these people. They are all very special, but as a group, they are quite amazing. So on that level, I am delighted to award to the cohort the award for humanity, and I'm sure that they will continue to be excellent members of the human race even when they walk out of this door. So congratulations to you all. The final award today is the Award for Leadership. This has been conferred again by the students' classmates, and again, I think there is no surprise who the winner of this award is. From the very beginning of our induction week, he has shown himself to be a kind, caring, dedicated leader of the group, and I am very delighted to announce that the winner of this award this year is Mahmoud Javadi. Mahmoud will now share a few words of his own with you. Thank you.
Well, in my brief remarks, I'll give you an introduction, 3 points, and a conclusion. Mark Twain once said, the 2 most important days in our life are the day we were born and the day we found out why. As we navigate through life, our pursuit of excellence is commendable and inherent to our human nature. However, while contemplating how to become the best in the world, we must also consider how to be the best for the world. And we need to reflect upon our social responsibilities and the extent to which we are willing to strike a balance between these responsibilities and the pursuit of personal gains, privileges, and success in our lives and careers. Well, these questions have become particularly relevant in my own journey when I left my country for good and joined the School of Transnational Governance. Today, as we embark on a new chapter of our own lives, I, as the oldest member of the cohort, well, in parentheses, age is just a number, but I, as the oldest member of the cohort, implore you, my friends, and if I may, my brothers and sisters, to think about these questions, how to be the best for the world. I'm sincerely grateful for the to the Hannah Arendt cohort for giving me this award and for the recognition. I'm deeply touched by this honor, even though I must admit that I do not feel deserving of it. Throughout our journey, we have been fortunate to have had the guidance and support of 2 outstanding representatives, Emily and Steben, who have led and supported us in the past 2 years. We have also 2 emerging leaders among us. Are you ready? Anna Chiara, whose exceptional management and leadership skills have enhanced our social life within the EUI, and the one and only Raphael, who has led the SCG football team and provided me with the opportunity to be a part of it. And as Thomas mentioned, so today is Raphael's birthday, and I wish you, Raph, a very happy birthday and stay as amazing as you are. Lastly, I would like to express my immense gratitude to the entire SDG community, from the leadership to faculties, fellows, associates, and the administration for the unwavering support, care, and commitment, and also to providing us with a high-quality education. Grazie mille. Thank you so much. Thanks.
So, this brings the ceremony to a close. From me, just a word of gratitude to all that participated, including the team that made it happen throughout these 2 years, and particularly the ceremony. Please, an applause. Other than that, I would ask you to please remain seated while the graduates and the faculty exit the church and go outside to take photographs. And please leave the headsets on the chairs. Don't bring them with you. All right. Thank you so much, and thanks for coming.